still like trying to solve technical problems here.
What's going on?
I'm copying that embed code and pasting it in where Ponder said, and I'm just getting code on the web page.
Well, I don't know. For Squarespace, I just have to use the episode share link. I don't know if it would be similar, but if you try that, that might work. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much
that you all decided to hang out with us on Saturday night, rather than see, I don't know, the Batman or something or whatever. We're really excited too that like this campaign is like has shocked us with the support we've received, and we really can't thank you enough. It literally had me in tears on Tuesday. Like I was like, I can't believe this many people that I don't really know give a shit about our show. So thank you so much for doing that. Speaking of, I have to wait.
There we go.
Got it?
Sorry. I was being dumb. I was pasting the code into the visual field instead of into the text field.
It happens.
Wonderful. So I just want to say thank you. Like we're at 40%. It hasn't even been a week. Like we're like shocked. And we're also really excited that we hit this important landmark. This was a plan we had from the beginning. And I'll be honest, there was a moment where we were worried we weren't going to be able to do it because of Omicron and other stuff. But we worked really hard, and we were like last minuting this a little bit. So we're really excited that we get to share the first episode.
Shut your goofy ass up.
What?
What?
Okay. Was that Brandy?
No.
I'm just kidding. We're letting Brandy know.
Okay.
Goodness.
I'm trying to identify the. Anyway, all right. I'm just gonna move on and forget about the person who told to shut my goofy ass up. They're probably just really excited about listening to the episode, maybe. So maybe we should just convert to doing that.
Well, if we want to give it, if people are still sliding in, so I'd say it might be worth hanging out for another couple of minutes before we start it. Although I do see we have some 1 and 2 a.m.ers here, so I appreciate all of you staying up real late.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us so late.
Yeah, seriously.
That's like that's blowing us away.
Yeah.
In addition to everything else.
It's like 8 here and I'm already in my pajamas.
I am very tired. But
I had to take a nap to stay up this late. So.
It's a long week.
It's also only 8 where I am, but
No,
I did have to take a nap.
McDonald's looking ass up.
What?
I'm so confused. Other me, I'm very confused.
Me too. I think that
Goofy ass name is that? Shut the fuck up. Yeah, maybe because you're a dumbass.
Oh, I think these guys.
Yeah.
Whoever that person is,
Yeah, whoever-
Oliver Morris is.
Many
It's
of
the
me
worst.
Fortnite.
love Fortnite.
I removed Fortnite.
Oh, sad,
Thank you
sad
very
to see them
much.
go.
Yeah.
So sad.
Wow, boo to that person.
Well, that is the official first Zoom bombing I've experienced.
Yeah, truly.
Which made it a long way.
Yeah,
I mean-
the fact that it's been this many years at this point before experiencing
All
that,
things considered, it could have been a lot worse.
could have been so much worse. A little disorienting, but otherwise just mostly a little rude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was not clear on the intention. I mean,
No.
more people in. I'm just assuming that
Hang on, sorry about that.
Sure.
Hang on.
it's another Zoom bomber. No, I'm just kidding.
That Zoom bomber is welcome.
Yes.
Pint-sized trolls. They come in packs of 6.
Okay, I think we're good. I thought that there was somebody else who had told me to shut the fuck up, but
No,
apparently
no,
not.
no.
I think that was that same person.
Anyway, I'll just continue to thank people. Thank you. Question one, are people, I'm glad we got that recorded, by the way. Are we, how do we want to do this? Do we want to share the audio and listen together? Or is that going to be chaotic? Should we have everybody just queue it up and listen? If we do a listening party, which we'll eventually do, which again, the timing of this worked out so perfectly. We thought we just have this official live stream launch of the campaign and say, hey, we're making this campaign. And that's it, just to have a little bit of a get together.
But now the episode's out.
The episode's out, and the timing of that was like so exciting. We were so excited for folks to hear it. So we just thought it would make sense to sort of combine the two things. And how would I can share the audio, I think, if I share my screen and we can just do it right off the website. Would that make sense?
You need to turn on
I know how to do it.
You know how to do the sound part, which is separate? Okay.
You know how many Zoom meetings I run on a weekly basis?
I know, but that's one of the things that usually trips people up.
Yeah, I've learned that. I've learned from experience. So
Okay.
I got it. And then I figured we could just kind of react in the chat, or people can shout out occasionally as long as it's not too distracting. But does that sound okay?
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, we'll just give folks a couple more minutes. What time should we start? Like 8:15, 8:10? I know there's some people are here late.
8:15, I think, is good.
Okay.
And I think you can skip the introduction for it that's on the feed.
All
Well, where are
right.
you playing it from? If you play it from the file I gave you in the Slack, then it won't have the wrapper.
Right from the website.
That's going to have the wrapper.
I'll skip it.
Yeah, it's about 2 minutes. Have you all gotten the soundtrack album?
I should open the
Thanks.
chat. Yes, an emphatic yes.
Excellent.
Jules, is
Been
that the
jamming
same
to it all
Jules that's
day.
in our promo video?
Yeah, that's
Yes. Thank you so much. You were fantastic. It was exactly what we needed, because we needed the silliness, the balance of the silliness, and the earnestness. And so I got that in spades. So thank you to everybody who contributed to that. My favorite was Eddie, who worked with us a little bit on Podtails, doing his breakdown with an iced dunks in his hand. Like that was just that put it over the top, I think.
Yes. The kitty's name is Rufio. He's cute now. He might attack me for not paying attention to him. He does that sometimes.
I've actually seen Eddie perform.
You have? Where?
Yeah, comedy show at Kamikaze.
Oh, that's cool. At Kamikaze?
Yeah.
In
Yeah, they do-
Davis?
Yes, they do live sci-fi comedy.
Nice.
I had no idea. Any predictions before we start? Any questions? Any exciting things we could say? Zombies?
No one
no
is prepared.
zombies.
No one is prepared for the end of this episode, and that's all I'm as a spoiler. Not a single one of them is.
No.
What's been the most fun part of season 4 so far? Working with more people, I'd say, and just having, because I mean this is the Widowmaker of a season.
Yeah.
It's been really challenging, which is part of the reason it's taken so long. So just having other folks to bounce their ideas off, and that's been
Yeah.
nice.
For me especially, this has been the hardest season to do. But having more people in the room with us, helping us do it, has really made it fun and possible.
Why a cliffhanger? It's actually not a cliffhanger.
It's not
Believe
much
it or
of a
not.
cliffhanger. It's
No.
It's just
It's-
long.
we're kind of treating it like it's a cliffhanger. It's not really a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It's,
There,
you're
there's
just not ready
payoff,
for it.
but it's
You're just
We'll
not
tell
ready
you-
for it.
you're not ready for
You'll
it.
see why.
It's about 45 minutes long, I think.
Yeah.
40 minutes long, around there.
yeah. Excluding the rapper and all of that, like the rapper pushed it closer to 50, but it's about 40.
When Alexander says the rapper, he just means like we made a
Promotion.
little, we
Yeah.
made a little opening intro about the Indiegogo campaign, why, like what awards, like the soundtrack and the episode are out. And then at the end, there's a little tease. This is another reason why it's a cliffhanger. There's another tease about 39.2, which might be coming later this month, depending on how the campaign goes. So stay tuned. What time we got? 3 minutes. 3 minutes. I'm gonna put that on Twitter.
How did we get this link to people?
It's on the promo image that we've been promoting like all the
Oh, okay. I didn't.
I'm so
see.
glad you read our social media.
I was been reading it all day for days, and there's a lot of it.
I know. Sorry, everyone. And I have to thank Amanda for helping us with social media. She's been fantastic. She's one of our dear friends.
I am going to post it into the Discord.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Has been a supporter and collaborator of ours all along. One of the people that we also have to thank is Bob Ramonda, who has been a writer with us, producer, editor, since we started working on season 4. They worked with us on Podtails, and we asked them, Jordan Stillman, TH Ponders, and eventually Amanda, the core like Podtails team, to just say, hey, we love working together. Can we just kind of roll it over to Greater Boston? And everybody emphatically said yes, and we're very excited about that.
I was like in bed reading my Twitter, which is a terrible thing to do. When I saw your message, I'm like, yes, I will join.
It's like getting the band back together. And we have fantastic new writers too, that we're really excited to work with. And things are moving. We're gonna take podcast land by storm.
I've never felt quite so powerful as that first meeting after I agreed to join the writers' room, and y'all just spoiled the entire season. Some of season 5 for me, and so I know it all. I know so much. It's a wonderful feeling.
It's the type of meeting that Bridge Geen fantasizes about, I think.
Yeah,
I'd say.
I still don't
I'll be
know.
right back.
I've heard bits and pieces from you guys in meetings.
Only the writers know that. It's we probably should have had people sign an NDA, but oh well. I trust Bob. I trust Ponders. I trust Jordan.
You gave
I
me
wish
the
I
keys
knew
to
it
your
all.
social media. So.
Bridge, you get 4 spoilers as soon as the campaign's over. So thank you for that.
The only person that would get any spoilers in my life is my wife, and she does not listen to very
She doesn't care.
podcasts.
Sam does not
and
care.
isn't on Twitter, so it's not
Perfect.
Not gonna mean a thing. It never means anything to her. She's like, wait, there's a city in a train. What? There's a crystal ball. That's a ghost.
We already have tweets about casting, which I will share with people later, because I don't want to share it here because it might ruin a surprise if you haven't listened to the episode yet.
Yeah.
We are starting this now. What's this? I should clarify what this is. We are starting the listen along now. Okay, it's 8:15. Is everybody ready? Do you have all of season 5 planned out? The suggestion of the Indiegogo, that you know what the final line of we do know what the final line of the whole show is going to be. We know the whole thing.
We have some significant plot points planned out, but there's a lot of filling in around them to do still.
Yes, we know the story. We'll just say that. But the specifics, some specifics are very finite and minute, and some are more vague, I think. And then there's like battles to be fought. Because if you ask me, I've got the whole show planned out to a T, but that's not fun for Alexander or the other writers, because it's just the way my brain works. I'm like, and then this happens, and then that happens, and that's the way I sort of think about it. But like, it's not all my show, so I can't really do that.
Whereas I tend to think so much more slowly about plot and do everything else first, and then after I know what I want the characters to feel and what kind of nice moments I want them to have, then I'll be like, okay, what kind of plot should I come up with that gets them to those points?
I've already figured it out.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
We'll see if it's getting us to the same point.
In my head, yeah. I know it's obnoxious. I'm sorry. I don't know how anybody can stand to work with me, but
there are many upsides, Jeff. Like there is a plot.
Kind of need one. Not necessarily, but we've known the final line since before we started writing season 4. We sat down and discussed it and we kind of just started talking around it, and then we just sort of mutually came up with it, and we were like, yes, that's it. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Are we ready to do this?
Yeah, we are.
All right, here we go. I'm going to share my screen. And the website up. That's not it.
Do you need the link to the website?
I have the website.
Yeah, no, that was a silly question. I'm sorry.
Except I didn't do the thing. It didn't give me the option to do the audio. Hang on, let me try one more time. There we go. Hopefully this doesn't get wonky. All right. Everybody
Oh
hear
my
it?
God, y'all, it is happening. We are making season.
Can people hear it?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm going to skip the wraparound and then we'll start with the episode.
4 of Greater
That's not even
Boston.
the wrapper. That's the pre-roll.
Anyway, the season, and that means
I'll skip both.
for a price. And running smoothly. The campaign is running
/plus. There you can have
never adequately express our appreciation for us.
Oh, there's a lot
It
of
was
pre-roll.
always our
Well,
plan
that's
to
the
give it away
wrapper
for
now.
free.
Now you're in the
Boot
wrapper.
Camp just doesn't let you turn off. The season is still in part 1. Enjoy.
Now, here we go.
affordable housing doesn't seem as there as it used to be. Almost every 3-family house that it would be an apartment is now a condominium with rates that far exceed anything that any Boston resident can afford generally. Especially if you've been here your whole life, you're like, oh wait, how? My grandmother's street alone. My grandmother has lived in Dorchester. Technically, it used to be Roxbury. They changed her zip code. She's lived there for over 20 years. And at the top of the street was this gorgeous 3-family house. It was sold, and now each one is a condominium. For the second floor alone, they went over $500,000. This is a neighborhood that has had so many transitions. Sometimes the street roads aren't even that great, but you want $500,000 on a second floor apartment in a 3-family, no.
Previously in Greater Boston.
No, you can't arrest me. I'm friends with Matt Damon.
I'm that little voice in your head, learning from your every choice.
If I gotta crash out somewhere, maybe I oughta crash with my dad.
You're my Jack Vincenzo.
Oh, and you're under arrest.
Emily, listen to me. This is all. Take her away.
And how are you faring, Mr. Stamatis? Oh, you thought this would be so easy, didn't you? No.
Braintree,
Peabody,
The
Underground,
Haverhill.
Lowell,
Revere,
Kansas,
Jamaica, guys, food truck,
Randolph,
Redline, Tewksbury,
Former headquarters of Filene's Basement, floor 26, Washington Street, is downtown Crossing Hospital.
This is
Greater Boston. This week in Greater Boston, episode 39, Good Morning Greater Boston, part 1.
Stay low. Do the same thing.
Another day begins.
After all this time, the first words out of Leon's mouth were a rote recitation of the obvious. Typical. He never was a creative man, even when he was still alive.
As the sun inevitably casts its rays down over entwined cities, some early risers are already in motion. Most remain ensconced in their beds.
He pressed tediously on with his trite exposition, though he did make an appealing word choice with ensconced. That brought a modicum of color to his narration.
At the terminal stations of the city of Redline, machines are activating, whirring to their facsimile of life.
Facsimile of life? Sigh. Such a cliche, and he very well knew it. What would he toss in next? Simulacrum? Verisimilitude? How pompous did he intend to get with this exercise?
April 14, 5:30 a.m. Start engines.
Finally, something worth listening to.
These machines have a busy day ahead of them, as they do every day. They have a routine they must follow, a schedule to keep.
Yes, the robots are just like Leon. Leon is just like a robot. Old symbolism, we get it.
No.
April 14, 5:45 a.m. Open doors to admit passengers.
Don't call me a robot. I'm not a robot.
I hardly see a difference.
I have feelings. I have memories. I'm a human.
Ghost of a human.
A human ghost.
Ooh, semantics, my favorite.
I don't like to be called a robot.
Are you clear on the point of my efforts here?
You're distracting me. I have work to do. Let me get back to it.
By all means, tell everyone about the cheese robots and how different they are from you.
They have a routine they must follow, a schedule to keep. It is programmed into them, hard written into their memory, the repository of algorithms to which they are beholden.
Mm-hmm.
April 14, 6 a.m. Exit Alewife Station. Begin morning commute. April 14, 6:01 a.m. Broadcast welcome message.
Oh, I like this part.
Good morning, Redline, and welcome commuters. We hope that you will enjoy your passage through our glorious city. While you are here, we ask that you follow a few simple rules of good behavior. Rule number 1, no littering, no loitering. Infractions are punishable by fines up to $10,000 and rehabilitative contributions. Rule number 2, official Charlie permits are required for entry. Hippies, socialists, and subversives are strictly prohibited. Any undesirables found in Redline may be subject to immediate removal and rehabilitative contributions. Rule number 3, respect your mayor.
Their schedule is a shared memory that unites them up and down the city's tracks, unifying all these disparate entities into a single being, a single collective mind.
April 14, 6:15 a.m. Recall having lunch with Nika Stamatis. She ordered pad thai with crunchy chicken. We ordered pad thai with shrimp and tofu.
No.
April 14, 6:16 a.m. Nope. April 14, 6:17 a.m. Recall that we do not eat tofu or shrimp or pad thai. We are robots. Proceed eastbound toward Park Street Station. April 14, 6:36 a.m. Arrive at Park Street Station. Open doors. Idle for 3 minutes to allow entry by morning commuters. April 14, 6:40 a.m. Narration. New subject, Philip West.
Philip West escorts 2 men down the line of cages, 2 new residents of Redline's increasingly crowded jail.
He knows just where he wants to put these 2.
All right, guys, this way. The cell down at the end.
He stops at the cell across from Nika Stamatis.
He sees her sleeping there, disheveled, hair unwashed, a string of drool trailing from her mouth down her cheek to a slowly expanding wet spot on her threadbare pillow. She's a miserable sight. She looks hopeless.
And he thinks about how the only reason he is free is because she isn't.
He turns back to the task at hand, trying to push that intrusive thought away.
But failing.
And puts his key in the cell door lock as quietly as he can, trying not to wake her. But he fumbles, clatters his keys against the bars. He hears her stirring behind him, disturbed by the sound.
He picks up the pace, eager to be away, before he has to look her in the eye one more time. He shoos his 2 charges into their cell and locks them in. He consoles himself that he's done the only thing he can do for Nika now. He's given her some company. Someone worth talking to.
Oh my god. Is that... Are you... Oh, it can't be.
I'm Matt Damon's friend Ben Affleck, and he's Matt Damon. You can't put Matt Damon in a jail cell.
That's just kind of my job, dude. Sorry, I don't like it any more than you do.
That's very unlikely.
Right. Fair.
And then he scurries away, quickly as he can, to wallow in his own eternal cowardice.
April 14th, 6:42 a.m. Narration mid-scene. POV shift. New subject. Nika Stamatis.
At Shawmut Station, Nika finds herself at a near complete loss for words. Standing face to face across two sets of prison bars with the unlikeliest pair of men she could imagine.
Hello, he's Matt Damon. I'm Matt Damon's friend, Ben Affleck.
Hi.
April 14th, 6:55 a.m. Approach Braintree Station. Broadcast hyperbolic sports team promotion. Subject, the Red Line Goats.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I can't believe it, but it's actually happening. Redline has our own baseball team, our own stadium, our own season of America's Pastime is about to get underway. That's right, folks. Construction of Park and Ride Rooftop Stadium at Braintree Station is now complete, and your Redline Yard Goats are gnashing their teeth in anticipation. You won't want to miss seeing starting pitcher Valiance Johnson take the mound. That's right, folks. A lady pitcher on a baseball team. Can you believe it? What? Why is this copy so condescending? Who wrote this? Did you say robots wrote it? Well, I don't. That doesn't matter. I'm not reading this. This is gross. Valiance Johnson, folks. She's an amazing pitcher, and I promise you'll be thrilled to see her play. So join me, Thomas, to take in Redline's first ever home game in 2 weeks' time when the Yard Goats face off against the Portland Sea Dogs. I've consulted the stars and the planets, and it's looking good. It's looking like they've assured me that we're in for a truly inspiring minor league matchup.
April 14th, 7 a.m. Arrive Braintree Station. Open doors. Allow passengers to exit. Idle. April 14th, 7:02 a.m. Narration. New subject. Valiance Johnson.
In Braintree, spring training is underway at Park and Ride Stadium, and Valiance Johnson is warming up her pitching arm. She's the newest member of the team, the Redline Yard Goats. It's a ridiculous name, but that doesn't matter. What matters is she's here now. She's made the big league. She never thought this would happen. Not that she hasn't earned it. She knows she's earned it. But she never expected anyone to admit it. To admit her. But here she is.
Looking good out there, Johnson. Good form. Let's see how you throw some curves.
You got it, Bruce.
Valiance feels good about her pitching. She's showing her team what she's capable of, showing that she belongs. Bruce looks pleased. He's cheering her on. She's not just the newest player on the team. She's also the first woman on the team. Bruce Bosley recruited her himself. She knows he's after the publicity, the controversy of inclusion, but he seems earnest, too, like he really believes in her. She thinks he does, anyway. She hopes so. She's also the first player to be recruited from Redline. The first home team player, playing for her actual home. Sort of. Redline had been her home. Then it wasn't. But now, it is again.
Why don't you take 5? Let's talk a minute.
Sure thing. What's up?
Just wanted to check in with you. See how you're settling in.
Oh, it's good. Feels great to have the uniform on.
That's excellent. And the boys, how are they treating you?
Well, you know, it's fine.
I see. Oh, you know, it's fine is not exactly a ringing endorsement. Are they giving you problems?
Not really. A couple of the guys have been really welcoming. A couple of others have been pretty clear they don't want a girl on the team. Most are just keeping their distance. Honestly, I was prepared for worse.
Well, I'm glad we're not in worst-case scenario territory at least. Most of them will come around once they get a taste of how you pitch. The others, well, they'll have to have a good think about whether they want to be on this team.
No, you can't kick them off for me. That'll just make it worse with the others.
If it comes to that, it won't be for you. It'll be for the sake of the team as a whole. Holding pointless grudges throws off the whole works. It's on me to handle that and make clear exactly what it is I'm handling. But we're not there yet, so don't worry about it. How's the new apartment?
Not bad. It's weird living all the way over in Cambridge, but at least catching the train is easy. That bell is a hell of an alarm clock. It's just alewife, though. Didn't that used to be housing for a lot of the transit workers?
Yeah. They cleared the whole place out when they fired everyone. Real ugly scene, the whole thing. Can't say I feel good about it. And it sure ain't doing the team's image any favors.
Yeah. It's a weird spot to be living in. I can't help wondering whose house I'm living in.
It's your house, Johnson. Whatever else went down had nothing to do with you.
I guess.
Didn't you get evicted too after Besman's proclamation?
I did.
So, you were owed. She took your home from you. And now she gave it back. Call it even.
I know. I guess you're right.
As Valiance looked over her new team, she saw misgivings on most of their faces, outright hostility on some. Nobody said a word against her, but she could see they wanted to. Restrained, she suspected, only by a stern lecture from the coach before she got here. Bruce might be a surprisingly forward thinker, but winning over the rest of the team would be an uphill battle. She was used to that, and she was ready to fight. She picked up her weapon.
Sorry about that. Jeff is booting the creeps.
I readied her grip, feeling the familiar pattern of stitching beneath her fingers. She had this, but the situation with her housing weighed on her more heavily. Yes, she'd only gotten back what was hers in the first place, but she was the only one. What made her special? What gave her the right to restitution while everyone else was out in the cold? Her pitching arm? That hardly seemed enough.
April 14th, 7:25 a.m. Depart Davis Square Station. April 14th, 7:30 a.m. Arrive at Porter Square Station. April 14th, 8:10 a.m. Narration. New subject. Uriah Connolly.
In Red Line, South Station, Uriah Connolly is already at work. A brand new Pizza Ghost franchise that'll open its doors for the first time on Monday morning. Uriah is filled with pride in finally owning his own business after half a lifetime of assistant manager positions across half a dozen restaurant chains. Today, he has one last staffing decision to make.
Of course, the obligatory awkward voicemail from Uriah Connolly. He rather dreaded making phone calls by this point, always calling to evict people, or tell them their brother was dead or some such. At least he's calling with better news this time. A job offer.
Hello, this is my voicemail. Vincenzo. This is Vincenzo's voicemail. And I'm Vincenzo. I guess you probably already knew that. Anyway, hi. So, leave a message and stuff, and that way I can call you back. Okay? Cool.
This is a message for Vincenzo Wellington. My name is Uriah Connolly, and I manage the Pizza Ghost family-style restaurant franchise located on the dining level at South Station and Red Line. You recently submitted an employment application to our establishment for the position of Pizza Geist. I am calling to extend an offer of employment within this role to you.
April 14th, 6:15 a.m. Narration, new subject, Jack Vincenzo Wellington.
In Red Line, Vincenzo Wellington awakens in the abandoned Filene's basement where he's been staying with his estranged father. Today he wakes to good news. He once again has a job.
Oh, awesome.
To be clear, Pizza Geist is the approved terminology for a pizza delivery boy within the Pizza Ghost corporate family. You may be wondering why this position is not called Pizza Ghost, like the name of the restaurant, and instead uses a nearly identical but slightly more German term for the same thing. I regret to say that I do not know the answer to this question, but using this term is a requirement of franchise guidelines.
Vincenzo is excited by the prospect of being a ghost, of possessing momentary access to the lives of strangers while leaving no sign of his passing, save for a hot, delicious pizza waiting on the table. He needs to hone his lock-picking skills, but he's already spent the last 3 hours watching tutorials on YouTube, practicing on every lock in his father's home.
If you accept this position, I will expect you to arrive for your first shift at 9:50 a.m., 10 minutes before we open our doors to our first patrons of the day. It is your responsibility to open the doors to customers. You will not be provided a key.
Uh-oh, I'd better practice more.
You will be provided a car as needed. But as we expect most of our customers to be Red Line residents, you will primarily use the train network to deliver the pizzas. Pizza Ghost maintains a strict dress code, requiring that all employees dress entirely in white, including belt, shoes, gloves, lockpick case, and top hat. You are responsible for acquiring and maintaining appropriate wardrobe. Personally, sewing your work clothes by hand is strongly encouraged, but not strictly required.
Well, that's good because I'm not good at sewing at all. Got it.
April 14th, narration continued from 8:10. Uriah Connolly.
Uriah feels confident that he has made a good choice. He has seen in Vincenzo an eager young man who will always try his best.
You blipped out there for a moment. Where'd you go?
He would be delighted if he could see how diligently Vincenzo is applying himself to learning the tools of his new trade as a pizza geist.
Oh, you jumped over to Vincenzo, I suppose. That little darling. Ugh.
Please return this call before the end of the day to confirm you will be accepting this offer of employment.
Vincenzo will be at work 20 minutes early on Monday, ready to meet Uriah's every expectation with enthusiasm and determination.
Thank you and God bless.
Yeah, we know.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. With LinkedIn becoming #1 in B2B display advertising in the US, you've got a great advantage. With their tools, you can stand out against your competitors while nurturing customer relationships and growing your brand. So scale your marketing and grow your business with LinkedIn advertising. As a thank you to their customers for helping them grow 3 times faster than the competition, LinkedIn is offering a $100 credit on your next campaign. Just go to linkedin.com/marketing.
April 14th, 8:42 a.m. Arrive at Downtown Crossing. Open doors. April 14th, 8:43 a.m. Ahead of schedule. Schedule adjustment. Stand by at Downtown Crossing for 2 minutes. April 14th, 8:48 a.m. Narration. New subject. Brian Brown. Introduce new character.
Another one?
Some wake more reluctantly than others.
Brian Brown wakes in his Northeastern University dorm room with a hangover, a headache, and regrets.
After hitting snooze 3 times, he now has exactly 12 minutes to shower, dress, and get to class.
God damn it.
Why on earth do we care about this person?
Hey, Frankie! I need to get in there!
Hold on, dude, I'm almost done.
Are we meant to remember this Frankie character too?
Everyone is worth remembering.
He seems boring.
Come on.
Look, we'd all like to move things along here, Brian.
All yours, man. Oh, hey, what happened to you last night? I thought we'd see you at Phi-Rho Alpha Tau.
Nah, I stayed in. Studying, you know.
Despite his hangover, he's not even lying. He spent his night with a microeconomics textbook and a bottle of tequila. He has an exam today. He desperately wants to pass it.
He needs the win. Wins have been rare these past few years.
He will arrive to class only 4 minutes late. The best he's done all semester.
He will not pass his exam. He'll miss by the thinnest of margins, with a grade of 59.5, thanks to partial credit on an essay question.
He will come so close, yet still fall short.
How do you think Boston has changed in the past 2 years?
Am I allowed to mention the coronavirus?
Within the last 2 years, everything is technology.
Do you think that's a good thing?
Good, because it kind of forced everyone to switch to everything online. Bad, because we're not having in-person interaction when we should.
I've seen so many more Teslas on the road, which I don't like. I don't know. Teslas are great cars in their own way, but that's something I do see.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot fewer interesting, more diverse restaurants and a lot more just like big box chain.
In Randolph, it has become more diverse, and they are incorporating things that accommodate to a lot of more than just one race or one culture. So it's nice to know that that's going on nowadays a lot more than what it used to be in the past.
Well, I have tried to remember where I am coming from and include it in my reactions to the communities. The Boston has changed a lot because the leadership has changed in Boston. I remember Menino's administration, then Walsh administration. Now we have the first mayor who is Asian and who is a lady mayor. I think that's a big change.
The people here want sustainable vehicles. Yeah. So, they buy Teslas, but then they also sort of want interesting food, but the interesting people making the food necessarily aren't here.
It's both changed a lot and yet also not at all. Things have definitely certain things have closed down, certain new things have been opened up, but then also just the existing hierarchies and dynamics in Boston have just been heightened by the direness of the situation.
April 14th, 8:48 a.m. Narration continued from 6:40 a.m. Philip West.
Philip was making his rounds, accompanied by a gang of enforcer-model cheese bots. This was procedure now. His partners had to accompany him whenever he walked his beat.
Ernesto, hurry, I hear the train.
Yes, I'm here.
As a result, he was actually getting better at his job, catching more criminals and ne'er-do-wells. They kept him honest, on the straight and narrow.
Have you got the parole pass?
Yes, ready to go.
Fair theft.
No fare theft. We have our parole pass right here.
He couldn't slack off. He couldn't look the other way or let little things slide.
Hey, sorry, yeah, you need to get another pass. You can't use one for both of you.
They were making him a real good cop.
They were making him a cop.
I understand. Simple mistake. What if I just pass it to my wife. We're just on our way to work and we need...
No, look, I know it's silly, but it's 1 prol pass per person. I don't make the rules.
Okay. Lucia, you go ahead. I'll buy another pass. Go on. We're in luck. There's a passenger car coming right now. I'll see you at home. Okay?
Have a good day.
You too. Officer, I will be honest with you. I don't have much money on me at the moment. But if you allow me to go to work without purchasing a new pass, I will give everything in my pocket.
I really wish you hadn't said that.
What's a bribe?
Well, bribe is what you offered me, but they're just programmed to tie in cheese whenever possible. It's best not to ask. And look, nothing personal. If it was just me, I'd take it and let you go. Heck, I probably wouldn't even take the bribe. But they recorded everything, and if I let you go, I could lose my job. Now I just gotta let them scan you.
Scan me?
Yeah, make sure you don't overwrite her. That kind of thing.
What the hell is that?
Ah, crap. That's our alarm when you find something. You didn't get evicted, did you? That's usually what it is.
Sir, I need to get to work. Do you understand? How do you expect people who've been kicked out of the city to get to work? How does the city expect people to live like this?
Well, I gotta take you in. And because you'll be arrested, you'll keep your job and pay off your debt to Redline with your service.
This cannot be legal.
You'd be surprised. Don't worry, we'll let your employers know. Anyways, I got a thing I gotta do, and I didn't count in time for processing a new, prisoner. So we should get going.
As Phil escorts the new prisoner to jail, he's thinking ahead to his pressing rendezvous.
With Ethan Bespin, I should think, to finally get those deeds to Wonderland signed over.
It's a meeting long overdue, if he's being honest with himself.
Long overdue, indeed.
Meanwhile, another critical meeting is just beginning down in Mattapan.
April 14th, 9:22 a.m. Narration, new subject, Gemma Windsor Coolidge.
Ow!
Mailed, error, subject inaccessible.
Seems this one isn't yours after all.
15 days. Going on 16 days. Since I've seen Charlotte, since I've held Monty. I worry that I'll miss so much while I'm gone. He grows fast. These changes seem to come in spurts. When things go back to normal, will I feel like a stranger to him? Will he feel like a stranger to me? Will things ever return to normal? Is that even a thing I want? I don't want to get used to this. And I feel like every day brings me closer to that possibility.
Yeah?
This is Warsaw. I'm here to meet Red.
Didn't hear about any Warsaw. I spoke to Huey.
Huey told me to contact you.
And how do I know Huey didn't get himself intercepted? Maybe got himself graded into God knows what kind of stringy calcium.
I don't know. You don't? I could show you some messages on my phone from him, if that would help.
You got a burner?
Of course.
So there's no way to verify that's actually Huey. Could be some contact you asked to send you some cozy messages, make it look like you're close with Huey.
Look, dude, I don't have time for this. If you want to meet, let's dig in. Otherwise, I've got a city to unfuck.
Don't gotta get all hostile on me.
Apparently, I do.
I don't trust cops. That's all. Especially after all that.
I'm not a cop.
Used to be. Right?
I was the chair of the City Enforcement Oversight Committee.
That doesn't sound like a real thing.
I suppose it wasn't. But that doesn't matter now. If there's a resistance to Redline, I'm its leader. Gemma Linzer Coolidge, codenamed Warsaw. And you're Rusty, right?
You remember me.
Of course I do. We survived a train crash together.
Well, now that all this codename talk is meaningless, come on in.
Long way from your big red.
Yeah, it's a little cramped. Lucky to have any place at all. Bit of a problem with your mayor wife's idea, tying employment directly with living conditions.
Please don't call her my mayor wife. And I don't recall you complaining back when you had maximum square footage.
I've learned a lot since then. Still think it's a good system, what your lady came up with. Just some rushed details. What happens to city employees if they got dismissed or even quit? Contract didn't say they'd get evicted. Didn't say they wouldn't either.
Well, if it's any consolation, she'd be the first to agree with you.
Funny to think about, when we first met, someone was trying to rile us up. Prove to us that things weren't perfect. We didn't listen.
What are you... Wait, you mean the lottery? You've got... That wasn't... They were a terrorist.
They're extreme in their methods, no doubt about it. Not particularly clear on what their angle was. They tried to demonstrate that things weren't all hunky-dory.
Isabel Powell did a much better job illustrating that particular point without scaring the shit out of people.
That's true too. Did you listen to her though?
Not as much as I should have.
That's all I'm trying to say. Can I tell you an awful secret?
Sure. We're practically old pals at this point.
I voted for Bespin. She promised good things to the rail conductors. She delivered on that promise. When she got cheese for brains, circuits for blood. I was a damn fool. That's why I'm fine risking my neck helping you out.
So let's hear it.
Know much about the Mattapan trolley line?
I know it doesn't have any cheese bots.
That's right. Totally operated by former Red Line drivers. Stations too, which is why I can safely crash here. City of Boston demanded that the trolley line be staffed by actually breathing people, not walking, talking Cheez-Its. Since the tracks intersect with some pedestrian walkways adjacent to Boston streets.
Isn't half of Red Line adjacent to Boston streets?
Yep, but there's more kit in that caboodle. The trolley uses a completely different system than the subway. Older system, like 1920s old. Word is, Bespin's mayor husband can't crack a bot who can truly handle it. So I reached out to Huey to see if you all could use it to help sneak evicted Red Line workers into the city so they can keep their jobs, smuggle folks with legal troubles out before they get assigned free labor in Bespin's crooked system.
Sounds promising.
But that's just the dressing. Time to get to the meat of this meat. That Ethan fella, he's moving his lab. And my Mattapan line buddies know when. The Bespins are obsessed with keeping their perfect schedule, so all big moves have to be communicated, even to the trolley guys. They just got word that something big was being transported from Kendall to Ashmont. Gotta be that mad scientist lab.
Seems weird that they would tell this to a bunch of ex-employees who have, I don't know, mutineered? No, this isn't a ship. Anyway, you know what I mean.
Bespin could care less about these guys. She barely considers this part of town Red Line. She didn't even campaign down here. Took one look at that old trolley jalopy, said hard pass. No matter what, my Mattapan buddies want to help. But if we can somehow intercept the lab, that might help with this little war of ours.
Is that what this is? A war?
What would you call it?
You know what I've been thinking about? Beating up robots is one thing. I could beat that cheese all day long, right? But what about the RLPD? What about Emily's true believers? What about the Bespins themselves? They commit great violence to people, like it's nothing to them. They don't even see it, don't even know it. Or they do, and they don't care. But it's a different kind of violence. It's less...
Direct?
Yes. And if this is a war, will I be able to do something like that? Should I? Or will that make me more like...
Lottery?
I can't do that. I refuse to.
Sometimes people need to be scared into action. I mean, hell, that's why I'm here. But there's a line, no pun intended. The trick is figuring out where that line is.
You think I'll be able to find it?
I got faith in you, Warsaw.
Thanks, Red. Thanks. Keep me posted on the schedule. I need to make some calls. Hey, still up for helping out? Yes, I'll put in a solid word. But only if you pull one doozy of a favor for me. It's pretty perfect, actually. You get to ying an old yang.
April 14th, 9:35 a.m. Flash door frame lights at each stop offering high-end consumer goods. April 14th, 9:37 a.m. Consider swearing more. Recall that swearing, though superficially uncouth, is often accompanied by a release of endorphins suitable to counteracting the accumulation of stress.
No.
April 14th, 9:38 a.m. Nope. April 14th, 9:39 a.m. Recall that we experience neither stress nor endorphins. We are robots. Close doors, engage engines, proceed eastbound toward downtown crossing. April 14th, 9:58 a.m. Check in on Nika. Narration continued from 6:36 a.m. Nika Samadas.
3 hours later, Nika is still struggling to find words for the situation. They have all slept restlessly through the early morning hours, but now Nika finds herself once again acknowledged by Matt Damon and Matt Damon's friend Ben Affleck. What does one say to people who represent everything you thought you wanted to be and everything you feared you might become?
Wow. Hi.
Matt Damon waved to her with surprising vigor despite his blank expression. Like a party clown arriving at a child's birthday party after a long day working retail sales at Walmart.
Wow, that metaphor was a little strained, but okay.
I'm just voicing what the subject is thinking.
Matt Damon is waving to you.
I see that.
That's his way of saying hello.
Yeah, I'm familiar with waving. So, hello, Matt Damon.
We were arrested for loitering in Red Line without a Charlie permit, even though Red Line hired us to make commercials about the security system, which was why we were in Red Line in the first place.
That sounds about right.
I don't think that seems right at all.
No, I just mean it sounds consistent with how things have been going.
I regret taking this job.
That's something I've said a lot these last couple of years.
What were you arrested for?
That is a surprisingly long story.
Just give me the gist.
Well, I got caught up in a conspiracy that involved quasi-terrorist pranks designed to mess with the mayoral election, but that led to some espionage as a double agent, which might not have been that bad, except that I kind of became friends with the mayor that I was spying on, so my betrayal really hurt her feelings. And there was some mental health stuff involved.
Yeah, there could be a movie in that.
Oh, wow, okay, I wasn't trying to pitch you.
Really? Oh, okay. Are you sure? It's just that usually people want to get their pitches out of the way first thing.
Yeah, I'm sure actually. Not looking to pitch anything at all.
This is probably just as well. It looks like Matt Damon and I won't be making any movies for a while.
Ben Affleck looked particularly sad just then, as though he were doing an impression of his own memes. Nika wondered if she should ask him about it. He'd asked for her story, after all. Even invited her to pitch him. That's not a small thing. It was only right to reciprocate, to invite him to share his woes.
But how much sad Ben Affleck could she really take at this moment? She doesn't really want to listen to sad Ben Affleck, sadly Ben Affleck at her. Wasn't it enough that she was sitting in jail without having to listen to other people complain?
But all the same, maybe it was time she started taking more interest in other people's problems. She'd listened to Emily, of all people, after all. Surely Ben Affleck deserved at least as much kindness as Emily.
All right, I'll bite. Why no movies in your future?
They're offering us a plea bargain to avoid prison time on the condition that we spend the next year making PSAs for Redline. We're not really into it, but our lawyers say we should take the deal. I mean, it doesn't make much difference for me, I guess. I didn't have anything lined up anyway. I guess I had a good run there for a while, but after my William Henry Harrison biopic tanked, studios lost interest in funding my projects. I didn't even get to finish part 2. And then that Batman movie, I didn't anticipate how much... Well, it turns out nobody ever wanted to watch me kill Superman, and that's all people see me as now. The guy who murdered Superman, and they don't even remember that I played Superman too. At least I played a guy who played Superman, but isn't that kind of the same thing, like a transitive rule or something? I don't know. Anyway, I had no idea people would get so mad at me. I mean, it's just a movie, right? But I guess it isn't. Superman is real to a lot of people. They can't separate me from what they saw me do on screen. So nobody wants to look at me anymore. Maybe this whole PSA thing will be good for me. At least it's something to do. I wasn't sure I'd get to work again, but this could be a good start. Sad new beginning. I just feel bad that, Matt Damon got roped into this with me. He didn't need that job. He was just doing me a favor, and now he had to drop out of this really cool space movie he was excited about, where he gets stranded on Mars. They're replacing him with fucking Mark Wahlberg.
Ugh, fuck Mark Wahlberg.
Right? Fuck that guy. Fuck Mark Wahlberg.
Fuck Mark Wahlberg. Right the hell out of here.
Oh, Matt Damon, did you want to say something? Hey, hang on, Matt Damon's going to say something.
Fuck Mark Wahlberg.
Yes. Fuck him.
Oh, absolutely. Fuck Mark Wahlberg.
Mark
fuck his
Wahlberg.
fucking
Fuck Mark
Wahlburgers. Fuck Boogie Nights. No, don't fuck Boogie Nights. I like Boogie Nights. But
100%.
fuck whatever the fuck them all. Fuck them all. Mark Wahlberg can go shit in a hat directly.
Fuck Mark Wahlberg.
Fuck Mark Wahlberg. Fuck that. The Plant movie? Fuck the Plant movie. Fuck Mark Wahlberg.
I'm with you, Matt Damon.
Get the fuck off my Mark Wahlberg.
That doesn't make sense.
Yes, I got a little caught up. That bit on the train a few years ago was rather infectious.
But I agree, actually. Fuck Mark Wahlberg.
Greater Boston is created by Alexander Danner and Jeff Van Driesen with production assistance from T.H. Ponders, Bob Raymunda, and Jordan Stillman. Recording and technical assistance from Mark Harmon. This season of Greater Boston was recorded in large part at the Bridge Sound and Stage in Cambridge, Massachusetts, with recording engineers Javier Lam and Alex Allenson. This episode featured Braden Lamb as Leon Stamatis, Alexander Danner as the narrator, Jordan Higgs as Cheese Robots, Sam Musher as Emily Bespin, Michael Melia as Philip West, Kelly McCabe as Nika Stamatis, Brigham Snow as Ben Affleck, Richard Penner as Thomas Thomas, Kenny Fuentes as Bruce Bosley, Jordan Cobb as Valiance Johnson, Ben Flaumenhaft as Uriah Connolly, Esther Ellis as Vincenzo Wellington, Ian DePriest as Brian Brown, Sawyer Green as Frankie, Sofia Borjon as Lucia, Giancarlo Herrera as Ernesto, Lydia Anderson as Gemma Linzer Coolidge, Jim Johansson as Rusty, and Zach Valenti as Matt Damon. Charlie on the MTA is recorded by Emily Peterson and Dirk Tiede. Improvisation in D by Tate Peterson. Ein klein Techno-Music by Dirk Tiede. Child Grove by Emily Peterson, Adrienne Howard, and Dirk Tiede. Charlie on the MTA Chiptune by Neil Johnson. Transcripts are available at greaterbostonshow.com. You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/greaterboston.
I feel bad. No. I feel bad for that. I'm tripping over my. There we go.
And we'll see how Kelly does with that. I feel like she's gonna saying fuck Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, absolutely. Fuck Mark Wahlberg. Fuck him. Fuck him right the fuck out of Redline. I'm so fucking sick of Mark Wahlberg. Fuck that fucking Wahlburgers to hell.
Cheese bots, not cheese butts.
It's me, Rusty in the Machine. Deus Ex Rusty.
Rusty the Machine.
Rusticus Machinicus.
Mark Wahlberg can go shit in a hat directly. Fuck off. Fuck him. Fuck that. What is that movie where he's a rock star? Fucking rock star? Fuck Mark Wahlberg. Fucking, you're no fucking rock star.
He pressed tediously on with his trite Yeah, I forgot to take the mask off.
We have you to thank for fuck Mark Wahlberg. I should have known. Yeah. I'm very excited to hear that as well. Okay. You know that movie where he shits in a hat?
So, that was it. Episode 39, Part 1. We hope you liked it. Though, I bet after that ending, y'all are pretty excited to find out what happens in Episode 39, Part 2. Well, keep an eye on the Indiegogo, and we'll see what we can do. You can't see me right now, but I'm winking at you. Wink, wink.
The Fable and Folly.
So wait, what movie did Mark Wahlberg shit in a hat in? Because I don't that's my biggest question.
I think that's only in our universe.
I mean, I believed it. I believed her that it was a real thing.
Kelly got really into saying "fuck Mark Wahlberg."
Oh, I believe that.
My favorite part was, I was like, at one point I was giving direction. I was like, "All right, go off at the movie where he plays a rock star." And she just goes, "Oh, that movie where he plays a rock star. What's that called?"
What's that called?
I was like, "I think it's called a rock star." She's like, "Fucking
rock star."
It's like killed me. So what did everybody think?
Fucking A. Aces. Well done, guys.
Thank you.
I want more. I want more too. I want you to hear more. This is literally just the tip of the iceberg. Like I'm just so excited for everybody to hear more.
I can't explain to all of you enough how many times I had to tell Jeff when drafting this season that it was okay for episodes to be long because you all would want long episodes. So
episodes are going to be long. Yeah,
they're going to be long. Don't be sorry.
I'm
you're welcome. Say you're welcome. They're going to be happy.
I was fighting to whittle down, and to a certain extent, I still am, because I like episodes to be on the shorter side personally. But there's going to be some longer ones than this. So it's a long season. There's long episodes. It literally is our biggest season yet. So,
I mean, honestly, we ended up adding more episodes because the episodes were getting too long. So we're eventually it was just okay. Let's just make more episodes.
Yeah, which we've done before, but this is a whole new scale.
Yeah,
but we couldn't have done it otherwise. It has to be this way.
There were too many things that had to happen.
Too much going on.
Season 5 will be simpler, he says.
Hoping. No, I love you, but it won't.
I think there are elements of it that could be simpler. But
if all goes according to plan, it's pretty straightforward.
I hope so.
Yeah, me too.
But also, I don't know what the plan for it is that's in your head yet.
We've discussed it, but I think you've just forgotten. That's okay.
I know we've had discussions, but I think there is more in your head besides what we've discussed.
I don't think so, but that's
No?
we'll talk. We'll talk not in front of a public theater.
I know.
No, tell us. Okay, yeah, sure. I'll just spoil the whole show.
Yeah,
we could if you fund the Indiegogo. Just kidding. I'm not gonna be that.
Yeah,
callous,
I mean, well, there's a
perk.
No, the real truth is that the end of the show is just the same as St. Elsewhere, and all of Greater Boston is a dream. And whatever his name's had that TV theory. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting too TV nerdy right now, but
no, St. Elsewhere. I gotcha. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's in the Bob Newhart show. It is definitely not Lost. I was so furious at the end of Lost. I was just like, how dare you, show? I love Lost, but man, that season finale really pissed me off.
My best friend Dan fights me all the time because he says that it's brilliant, and I just can't. If I ever want to get mad at him, I'm just like, the ending of Lost sucked.
What really felt like to me the final season of Lost is that there were clearly two sets of writers, and one set was writing the Sideways world, and one set was writing Back on the Island. The stuff Back on the Island was fine.
I agree.
And then they would go to the other world, and it was boring.
Yeah.
Consistently boring.
I just think that they just stopped caring. I really do. Like
for sure.
They were introducing stuff in the season before just to sort of set it up, and they didn't even bother explaining.
Yeah.
And there's some things they could have just easily just tossed away and explained.
Yep.
Like there's when they're doing the time. Sorry, we're going off on a lost tangent, everybody, and this is getting recorded. Fantastic. They were doing the time jumps, and they were in a canoe, and somebody was shooting at them. And they're like, who's shooting at us? And it was clear that it was probably them shooting at themselves from like, or some version of them. And then they could have easily explained that away, and they didn't. They just let it go. I know you forgot about it. I didn't, because I was like, oh, that'll come up, when they go back to the present day, and they'll see people and they don't know who they are, and they'll start shooting at them or something. And they just let it go. They never explained it. I was like, how lazy is that? Come on, Lost. Don't mysteries you intentionally not are going to explain. You've got too many mysteries like that.
Damon Lindelof got to end Lost when he ended The Leftovers, because that was good in the way that the Lost finale could not be.
Yeah.
Leftovers has,
and that was the whole other direction. Like the first season of Leftovers, like I don't need to watch any more of this.
I was done. I was hate watching season 2. Because I really didn't care for it. I thought it was
season 2.
And like,
you told me season 2 was great. That's why I started watching it.
I wasn't going to watch season
2. Right.
And I was hate watching it in the beginning because I hated season 1.
Season 1.
I didn't hate it. I just didn't care for it.
No, there were 2 episodes I thought were good, and the rest was like meh.
Yeah.
So we've rolled ourselves off the rails, but does anybody have any questions about?
About Lost or The Leftovers?
No.
Or the Watchmen remake.
I see Ollie's got one in the chat.
Can we expect time travel?
Not really, but just a teeny smidgy.
Okay. Here's what I'll say. Not yes, but not no.
Not no.
Right.
That's the wildest answer I could have possibly expected.
It's hard to explain.
Not yes, but not no. And that's all I'll say to that.
Yeah. It's hard to explain. And if we try to explain, it'll be spoiled. So, but you'll see. You'll know when you hear it.
To explain the technicalities of being Leon and the narrator. The technicalities are different for them. They're not the same.
It's not an individual answer for that question.
Yeah, they're both supernatural in different ways. I guess is what I'll say.
Yeah. And we do ultimately explore both, but one of them this season and one of them not.
Yes. Although somebody's asking if we get the backstory on the narrator and why he's in that position, I'm going to say yes.
Yeah. But not this season, though, right? Not this season.
No.
That's long term.
No, but here's a bit of power that I have. I know who the narrator is, and I'm not telling any of you.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, but I do.
Let's see. Is there death and destruction in season 4?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are deaths this season.
There are deaths. Yes. Characters die. Yeah, and that's all we'll say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Look, everything that happens in this show happens again. Everything. And the one thing from season 1 that we haven't revisited is a funeral.
Oh,
Would
God.
Joining support you in any way? Yeah, it does.
Yes, it does.
It's yeah, thank you for asking. If people join that, especially if they join it and they cite our show, that actually helps us.
Yeah.
So if you don't like ads, we support you joining Fable and Folly Plus.
It's a great price point for the amount of shows that you get, and there are a ton of really incredible shows on Fable and Folly.
We love, including Forgive Me and Windfall, which are 2 of our favorites, and we love Adam and Bob tremendously.
Yeah,
they're just 2 great people. I mean, the whole network. Like we were very skeptical about joining a network if it wasn't Sean and Eli that came to us.
Yeah, we had turned down other offers before them.
And their pitch to us was just like, you're gonna run everything. We're gonna get ads for you, and that's it. And we were like, okay. And they're like, we don't want drama. We don't want control. And they've stuck to their word on that. And I think that's why so many wonderful creators and shows sign up. So Fable and Folly for life. We love them.
Yeah, I love them.
We've got a question about an estimate for number of episodes in the season. Do we want to answer that question, or do we want to leave that?
I'm not sure. I know.
I think it's okay. I think it's 15,
I think it's okay.
Right?
Are we at 15?
I think we're at 15.
Is 39 part 1 and 2 episodes? Or
No,
is it one episode.
We're
It's
counting.
one episode.
We're counting it as one episode, and it's 15 counting parts 1 and 2 as one episode.
See, you all, I fought this, and I can't fight it because it already happened before I was on the show. But like, but yes, it's 15 episodes, including this and part 2.
All right. If it's no. If it's 14 episodes, if you don't count this as 2 episodes.
Okay, yeah, I know.
I thought. Okay, I thought there was actually 15.
You're right.
Well,
but then
there is actually 15.
There are 15. It's
because
just
if
one of them
was
is
one
called part
episode,
1
we
and one
wouldn't be
is called
splitting it
part
up
2.
in 2 parts and releasing it weeks or days or whatever later. So anyway,
the original plan before we decided on the early release for the crowdfunding, the plan was to drop them the same day. It was just going to be a double length episode, and we didn't want to put that much time in one file.
Yes. I'll also say it was originally planned to be shorter, but then Jeff got to the end of what was supposed to be the penultimate script, and then he gave us an outline for what was needed left for the rest of the script and gave us an episode length outline. And it was like, no, we need one more. Like, we just need another episode. I'm sorry, Jeff. You keep wanting to make this short, but that 2 pages of description you just gave us isn't going to come in 750 words. It's just not going to happen.
and they were right, and I admitted it, and it's fine. I'm over it. I got over adding new characters. I got over episodes being long. I got over.
What I really love is how once you like you were resistant to adding new characters for a while. But once you get over something, you're like, okay, now we're doing it double.
Yeah. Once you stop caring, there's no I let go of a lot. So I really love the idea. This is stupid. This is a stupid thing. I really love the idea of the show mirroring each other. So
I know. I understand that. I do.
We plan to have season 5 mirror season 1 a bit more. Season 3 kind of being off on her own, and I really like the idea of structuring season 4 like season 2. And so I was kind of fighting for that stupid idea in my mind for a long time.
No, it's not a stupid idea. We couldn't do it.
That needed to be killed.
No, it is, but that doesn't make it stupid. I understand it. I see the appeal. I like the idea. I just don't think we could do it with the amount of story we had to tell.
Yeah,
I agree.
There was just too much left. There was too much left.
I think we could have done it, but we didn't, and that's okay. But
No, Jeff. I've read all these scripts. No.
Okay,
Jeff, I love you. I'm going to say this in front of everybody. It's
all right.
No.
Okay.
No time traveling back to past seasons. That I'll say.
No.
And again, we're not time traveling, but we're also not time traveling, and that's all we're going to say to that.
Right.
So you can keep asking us to clarify that, and that's all we're saying.
It's not. I will say it's not like a lost. It's not Ars Paradoxica. It's not like a lost time travel. It's much more subtle.
But no, it's not just jokey. We're traveling forward in time either. It is something unusual.
Do we have flashbacks? No, I don't think so. Are there flashbacks this season? We've done flashbacks before. Season 3 has flashbacks.
Yeah.
But I don't think this one does.
Flashbacks in the sense that we're being asked, I'll say.
I'll ask the audience a question. Are there any characters that you're really angry you didn't get to hear from in part 1?
Ooh.
Ghost Norbert.
Ghost Norbert, sorry. Louisa is coming in a big way. Louisa is not in 39.2, although Wendell is.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of check in on Louisa through Wendell. Yes. But Louisa has a strong season.
Yeah.
We dip into Louisa. Isaiah is in 39.2.
Yes.
Yes.
And unfortunately, Isabel is not, but Isaiah is.
No, there were so many new characters and so many characters that we had to do a whole lot of jigsaw puzzling with this season of figuring out what the right flow, both from scene to scene, but also episode to episode, was going to work best to really check in with each of these characters at the right time.
I will say this is a quieter season for Charlotte. She's had a lot to do the last 2 seasons. She's stepping back a little.
Summer is in the intro, saying previously in Greater Boston, but otherwise Charlotte's not in the next episode. And yeah, there's not a ton of Summer. I think Charlotte is. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. She needs a break. Correct.
Yeah.
It's a more of a, like, season 2 is a very Charlotte centric season.
Mm-hmm.
Season 4 is a very Gemma centric season.
Yeah.
And they both kind of have their own season to find themselves, I think.
And similarly, I think we spend more time with Isaiah than with Isabel this season.
We do.
Yep. That wasn't the plan, but absolutely.
No, but it makes sense.
It does.
He's watching Star Trek with Isabel. You're right. That literally happens.
Yeah.
Both in that scene in the live show, and a scene that we were hoping to record for an upcoming mini episode, but we haven't.
Yeah.
But it's coming, we hope. We fingers crossed it might happen.
Yeah.
Jeff wrote a great mini episode that we've been wanting to record for ages. It was written before like any of the ones we've aired, but it's just gotten so hard to record certain people.
Although it's getting easier. So
yeah.
Somebody asked if, I forget who it was. There's Ponders. Somebody asked a question. Calls to the Underground. So Bridge, I have to tell you, I can't give you that voicemail because, and I'm very angry about this, Google Voice, which is what we set the Underground phone number up with, just canceled my number out of the blue. And I was very upset because they said, you need to use this, text or make a call to keep it active. So I texted from it, and that they still canceled it. So I'm very upset about that. I know, because to be honest, we weren't really going to do anything specific with it, although we were hoping to sort of record some, I don't know, like scoops, right? So, but yes, you're rats. I know. I'm sorry. I enjoyed getting those calls because they do get routed directly to my phone. And so I was just getting these strange voicemails, and I was like, what is, and I was like, oh, right.
I didn't get to hear any of these.
Sorry.
So I do have to say, the whole time I was working on designing this episode, I have been so excited to see people hear that Brigand Snow performance.
Yeah. And there's more in 39.2.
Oh, yeah.
There's more Matt Damon in 39.2 as well.
No spoilers.
Sorry. I just said there was more.
No. And that's the other reveal I was really excited for, to see how people reacted to that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Zach Valenti just getting a throat clear and a fuck Mark Wahlberg.
Yep.
As his entrance says. Matt Damon is just my God.
And get more Oliver? Yes, there's more Oliver coming.
Oh yeah.
One of my theories is the narrator was Matt Damon. No. Sorry, Adam.
Adam, I've been wanting to tell you no to that for so long, but I waited until this.
But honestly, when Bob told us that, I had a moment of, oh, that might have been better than what I'm thinking.
No.
I disagree.
All right.
I also disagree. The answer to that question is wonderful, and I can't wait for people to know it, and it'll be a long time from now, and that's all I can say.
I did love that theory, though.
Yes. What does the in-universe Wolf 359? Wait, what? Oh,
what about the in-universe Wolf 359?
Does Zach just sound like Mark? So in our universe, the Netflix show of Wolf 359 the guy who plays
Eiffel.
Doug Eiffel.
Doug Eiffel actually sounds like Matt Damon. Go figure. Yes, the Doug Eiffel.
Yeah.
That was. It's not exactly Doug Eiffel, but it is Zach Valenti.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think Doug is from Boston. Like that's in the first episode.
Oh, is
right?
it?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes,
yeah,
he
when he
is.
introduces himself, it's
Yes.
like.
I mean, that could be what Matt Damon goes on to do, except that it's already done in our universe, since he didn't get The Martian.
Right. Maybe
he does Wolf 359 instead.
That's a very good point. It's like I didn't get the space movie because fuck Mark Wahlberg, but I'm gonna take this other space
TV show
adventure
instead. Yeah.
Yeah. He plays Bob. Oh yes, the listeners, good call. That's a great idea. We're just rewriting the rules all over the place.
Yeah.
Who cares?
It is wild that there is an Archive 81 Netflix show in real life.
You know what's even more wild is that it's really fucking good.
It's really good. It's really good.
Not that I like thought it would be bad, but it far exceeded my expectations. Like I really enjoyed it.
And also, I watched it with my wife, and she loved it so much that I revisited the podcast for the first time.
Yeah,
since it aired, because she wanted to see where it came from, and that was such a wild experience going backwards that way. It was so great to finally go back to it like that.
Yeah, undoing that relationship was a huge mistake. But yeah, but the show was good.
I'm curious to see what they're gonna do next because I feel like it's got to diverge somewhere.
Oh, it can't. They can't.
Well,
they won't.
No, I mean, even where it left off is a completely different place from where the second season of the podcast goes.
Yeah, there's no world that they will make it its own thing. I hope that it gets itself a second season to see what they do with it. Because while I do agree that relationship change was a bummer, I do think, Dan being changed to a black man was a really wonderful change.
Oh yeah.
And,
Yeah.
They did a lot of really interesting things that I thought were wonderful. So I'm excited to see where they would go if they get more.
I totally bought the character of Dan in the show, in both shows really, but in the TV show as that kind of guy, obsessed with audio, obsessed with tape. I don't know. Like I thought he was cast really well. I thought it was a really great performance, kind of an understated performance, and he carried that fucking show a lot. Like that's a lot to do.
That actor who plays him in the TV show is in a really wonderful Facebook TV show who also made the Limetown show for 1 year that they did fiction with oh my gosh, Sorry for Your Loss it's called, and Kelly Marie Tran is in it, and Olsen.
I remember hearing
Elizabeth
about that.
Olsen. I wanted to say Emily Olsen, and that was wrong. Elizabeth Olsen is in it, and he is incredible in that show. And I don't know if you can still get it on Facebook, or it might be on Peacock. I know that's where Limetown landed, but if you can find
a lot of those IMDb
go
TV and Facebook TV shows landed on other services now.
You remember Yahoo TV? That was a thing for a hot second. Wow.
Yeah, they spent so much money on bringing Community back, and it did not do well.
But you know what? I will fight for that last season of Community. I really liked it.
It's great.
I love.
I'm not sure if I don't think I saw the last season.
Oh, it's great. If I want to cry, I watch.
I think I saw
the end of the finale.
I think I saw the second time it got a last season, but not the third time it got a last season.
Good night, Bridge. And
Good night, Bridge.
Good night. So much for your tremendous support. We can't thank you enough.
Truly, thank you so much. We literally tonight could not have been what it was without you. All of you.
So true.
Yeah.
So much.
I didn't sleep. Let me just put it that way. I could not sleep that night. So thanks to you. Thanks a lot. Seriously, thanks a lot. Also, people can dip out whenever they want. Don't feel like there's no agenda here. This is something we do. We just hang.
And
Ponders is here now. So everybody say hi to Ponders.
Hi,
Ponders.
Ponders.
Gave you a shout out earlier. All we're missing, and she's on vacation, is from our core team. There's other folks who are involved too, like our writers and Theo. But the main forces are all here besides Jordan, and we really can't. We'll say it again. We really can't thank them enough, because folks like Bob, Ponders, Amanda really kind of helped us make this season. So.
I wasn't here to listen to the episode, but I was driving to dinner and back, and I listened to it in spirit while I was doing that. So, and
Nice.
It's still wonderful. It's still a phenomenal.
And I want to stress that the mini episodes you've been hearing these last few months, most of them are written by Bob, Jordan, and Ponders.
Yep, and they're fantastic.
While Jeff and I have been writing the main episodes, that they gave us the freedom to do that.
Right, the trifecta of Farewell Chuck, we call it the Third Sight trilogy. Farewell Chuck, written by Jordan. Farewell
Third Sight.
Farewell Third Sight by Bob, and Farewell Abdul by Ponders. I love those 3 episodes so much, and I just think that they're fantastic and touching and sweet, but also funny and
Has Richard been here the whole time?
Yeah.
I didn't even.
It says time scanner and
I know, and I
Maybe it's a different time scanner. I don't know.
completely missed that.
Hi guys, I'm here.
Hi. I love that so much. That kills me.
Yeah. Oh, we've all been flipping out over that.
That was good. I went for it, and I was expecting an email. You could just tone it down a little bit, but it didn't happen.
Hell no.
Nope.
Why would we do that?
I couldn't use the bigger takes because it was peaking. It was blowing out the sound. But the take we used is amazing.
Incredible. Truly incredible.
I also want to tell you that this past week, my last class before vacation, my audio drama class, I played Whiskey Barrels live in class because
nice.
I like watching my students' faces in real time while they're listening to that one, and the journeys they go on. It's so much fun.
Awesome. That makes me feel good. I appreciate that.
Richard, thank you so much for the recommendation of Bellwether, by the way. That show rules.
Which show?
Bellwether. It's
yeah. Totally.
It's incredible. I recommend that podcast to everybody. Bellwether. Go check it out. It's not.
I've heard of that one, but I haven't listened to it.
It's not a fiction podcast. But although there are some fictionalized elements.
It's fiction elements. Yeah, it's by Sam Greenspan. Sam was one of the original team members of 99% Invisible. And
yeah.
So Sam's awesome. Sam has since left that show, and they're doing other things, including Bellwether was their big passion project. It's like it does nonfiction investigation, but then presents it as in sort of a fictional framework, like a civilization in the far future, going back over nonfiction reporting from the early 21st century.
The wraparound really reminds me of Infinite Now. I have to be honest with you, and not in a derivative like they're ripping you off kind of way, but just like I was like, oh, this sort of feels like
yeah, totally. It's like a nonfiction Infinite Now. That's true. But Sam, there's some like good back and forth with influences there, because Sam actually is sort of responsible for. Okay, so I had been trying to. Sorry if I'm stealing your thing to talk.
No.
So I had done some writing for what I wanted to be the Time Scanner podcast or the Infinite Now for a while. And I was just like dilly-dallying and messing with it and like trying to get it right. And then like one day, I saw that it was the leap second was happening. And I was like, oh, it would be cool just for my like Twitter followers if I made something for that. And so within like one day, I put together that episode and posted it to the internet. And so people could listen to it at midnight. And in my head, I'm like, well, this isn't what I want for like my first episode of the show. I'll just put it out there. And I didn't know that Sam had been following me on Twitter, but like I was just gonna like put it up for followers and delete it later. And Sam, but Sam reached out and they were like, "Oh, I love this so much. Can I tell everyone to listen to it?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, totally." So Sam passed it along to podcast people, and then I was like, "Well, shit, if I'm not deleting it, I may just keep going." And so I just started making new episodes.
That's
So
nice.
yeah, so Sam's been a big supporter, and totally there's a similar vibe happening there.
That's awesome.
So we recommend everybody listen to Bellwether and The Infinite Now, both wonderful shows.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I love Infinite Now. I love it so much.
Yeah, I gotta get to work. I gotta make more of that, huh?
I would like that.
If you feel like
it's
it.
up to you. I would
Yes.
enjoy it, but you know that doesn't mean you have to do it.
Thanks.
It's been a time, so you know we all need a break sometimes.
It's been a time scanner.
Ooh.
I feel like for my life in particular, I feel like things are calming down to the point where I think I can do stuff again. So yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions, thoughts, feedback, angry comments that people
Angry
would like
comments.
to file? Okay. What is our next goal? So at 7,000, we for the next episode.
Oh, for the next episode. That we haven't said yet.
I think we can say that here.
I will tell you, it's $9,000. I think. Now I have to check.
That sounds right.
And I can pull it up.
I said that with such confidence, and I immediately I was like, "Wait a second."
No, I think that's right.
No,
yeah, that sounds right.
That
sorry,
sounds
9,000. Sound 9,500.
Yeah, for
Oh, okay.
The Emily P, thank you so much. That is so incredibly sweet, and we never get tired of hearing comments like that. Thank you so much, and we really appreciate it. I don't care if you've donated or not, but if you have, thank you. We really appreciate that as well. But everybody who's sort of just like spread the word or even just said kind words, like it means a lot. So we really thank you. Just the fact that this many people that we don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, my wife was just like, these are all people you know, right? They're giving, and it's just like hardly anyone.
No.
People in our real lives don't give a shit about us. Like,
Yeah, no, I was surprised of how many of the people I know, like none of them, like so few of them have done anything. It's all people we don't know.
I mean, that the fact that we're connecting with strangers in this manner is like, it's a dream of ours. Like when the very first episode we made, we were like, yeah, this is great, but like we would really love to just sort of hear what people think of it. And that's, I mean, you get the feedback from, you know, Twitter, Tumblr, various corners of the internet. But like, I've always fantasized about a night like this, even though there's only like 20 people here, just sort of like being able to sort of tell us what they think in real time. That's the dream. So thank you for coming. Thank you for saying kind things, and thank you for being supporters and fans of the show. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a great night.
It really was.
I really like listening to our own stuff with other people. I get such a
do too.
kick out of that.
Should we, when we release 39.2, should we, if we
Yes.
release 39.2, should we plan
Yes.
another night like this?
I say absolutely.
Do it.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. That's an enthusiastic yes from the chat, along with some other very, very kind and sweet things from Ben, Jules, Morgan, Emily. Thank you all so much. Sarah.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. And
Seriously.
and just, you know, I guess just thank you. Yeah, we really appreciate it. And have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Night,
Be well,
everybody.
everyone.
Take it easy. Thank you for getting us here.